think anytime there is a big concern in market sell-off, that's presenting an opportunity. We think it's a very small chance that the fiscal cliff happens. It's in no one's incentivized to let the fiscal cliff happen. There'll be a lot of posturing, or someone's going to blink, but the fiscal cliff will be resolved. And anytime there is a significant sell-off, that's a good buying opportunity, we believe.
So what are you buying now then?
We're actually looking at stocks that have cyclical exposure. Europe's mired in recession. It probably will be for all of the coming year. The US is actually showing some pretty resilient growth right now. It's showing consumer confidence at a 4-year high. Emerging markets, Asia are all growing quite well. The global economy this year grew at about 3.5%. So people are worried about recession, no growth, but globally there still is a reasonable economy out there. And if you can find companies that are positioned to countries and economies that are growing, there's some very good value in equities right now.
Such as?
BMW, Volkswagen are companies we've been buying. They're viewed as cyclical companies. They're domiciled in Europe, but they have great brands. They sell a lot in the United States. They've sold 20% profit growth and sales growth over the last year. They do very well in China. China's got issues with Japan right now, so you're seeing Germany in a very strong position in the Chinese market, the German car companies.
And they're trading below 10 times earnings. Can these companies continue that level of performance?
Well, I think you can. When you look at what we've been mired with for the last couple of years, it's been a pretty weak economic environment in Europe. You've had not huge strength in the United States. You've been running along 1% and 2% growth. But I think it is going to be a sustainable economic period for China. I don't think there's going to be the hard landing there. You're seeing a repositioning of its economy from fixed investment into consumption. And I think that's good news for car companies. It's good for luxury brands. And there is real economic growth in parts of the world. You just have to find the equities that are selling into it.
Okay, so you're a buyer of German autos. Are you a buyer of Spanish banks? We've got some news today that EU might ratify some of the aid terms for Spanish banks. And do you think the tide may be starting to turn for Spanish banks or not?
Well, this will probably be good news for some of the big Spanish banks today. There'll be cheap assets from the banks that are government-owned being sold on to the big banks, but you still have a lot of bad debt in Spain. You've still got the property bubble that's still collapsing there. You've got 20% unemployment, and these big banks don't have funding levels that they're competitive with German banks and American banks. So whenever you have to borrow at higher rates as a bank than your competitors, you're in a bit of trouble. So we're still not attracted to the Spanish banks, despite this probably will be good news for them getting cheap assets today.